off. Today is day 337 of the year of streaming and learning to code. We are continuing on with project number 8, Simple Calculator. However, we have a bit of setup that we need to do first. So, we've got a smattering of things that we need to address. First off, let's get chat open. There we go. From here, we need to set up Atom. We tried to set up Atom beforehand, but that all fell apart. It was quite tragic. What is going on here? No. All wrong. All very wrong. Cancel that noise. Let's see. Things to do. If I was trying to open a given file, here's that. I think we did a new file instead of a folder, which really won't help anybody. Let's actually delete that. Can I delete that? Move to trash. I most certainly can. Awesome. Let's open this. We'll try again. You guys can't see Atom. At least not yet. New file. Ta-da! BDX simple calculator.html. Enter. There we go. Much better. Let's go ahead and save that. Space. Save. Delete. Save. Into OBS. Now we are looking for the following. Properties. That's what we want. There we go. That's better. And now we can go ahead and make those full screen. Full screen for you. Full screen for you. Oh, so much better. You know what else we could have and should have done? Is attach the audio for our Twitch alerts. We really should have added that in beforehand. Say la vie. That's okay. We can manage another day. We made it 11 months without, what was it? Notifications at all. So as long as they're on screen, I think that'll be good enough for now. We can add in the audio for that in the future. So, what are we doing in the meantime? Project number 8. Today's stream probably be on the shorter side, which is the usual for our initial project setup, as we just set up the basic file, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, whatever the core essentials are, just to come to terms with what we are up against. And with that said, let's take a look. Here we go. Simple calculator. Create a calculator that allows for addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Specifications. Your calculator should allow the user to click buttons to enter a number followed by a function. Addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. After selecting a function, the user should be able to enter another number followed by another function or the equals button. Can I do a switch statement in this scenario? Maybe I don't want to do a switch statement in this scenario. We'll keep reading. The user should be able to continue entering numbers. We all know how a calculator works. We're going through it because, well, it's day 1 of the project, and that's what we do. The user should be able to continue entering numbers followed by functions any number of times. The user should be able to continue entering numbers followed by functions any number of times. Yes, yes, indeed. After each function, the calculated result should be displayed. Okay. Extra credit. Create an AC/C button which clears the currently displayed number on the first click and clears the entire calculator memory on the second click. AC stands for all clear, which will clear all numbers previously entered, and C stands for clear, which will only clear the most recent number entered. Noted. See if you can handle keyboard events. Oh, wow. We're going deep. That's a stretch. Okay. All right. We pulled off mouse events, hover and click and whatnot. Even mouse direction with X and Y, so keyboard events. See if you can handle keyboard events to allow the user to enter numbers and functions. Plus, minus, divide, multiply, and equals in the calculator from their keyboard. Also handle, I was going to say we should also include the enter key. Yeah, here it is. Also handle the enter key the same as you would the equal sign. Okay, okay. Damn, still like 8 projects deep now. I keep, oh. It's because it's every single day. I haven't looked at the notes. I've just mentally, the closest we've come was the last project, and that was because we had to manipulate the screen, and it's too much of a hassle to like fluctuate the windows with my single screen setup that I've got going on here currently. And oh my god, so I've come to terms since the beginning of October for over 2 months now to just ignore it's like whatever the source code is that doesn't even exist, but I know it's so important. There's all the comments after the first project or two. I looked at those, but I gotta look at those. I have to look at those. Damn, because they're it's all right. Anyways, moving on. Here's the example project. This is what we're shooting for. Calculator. Nice. Fairly straightforward. We've got 1 plus 2 equals wholly 3. Shocking. Okay, so let's clear that on the first one. So if I did, well, we'll clear it twice. If I did 8 plus 7 plus 9. Oh, clear 1 equals 16. Aha, it does work. Okay, awesome. Of course it works. Oh god, this is a demo to help you get started. Yours will be better. That's what all 8 of them have said. Although, I think we came a lot closer with Project 8. Now, true, Project 8 was kind of unique in how simple the layout was and the look of it. And we did actually emulate Topher's design and style for the last project. Extremely similar to his. Usually we try to add our own unique flair, which is dull and sad, if one had to categorize it, for our stylings, but we have come pretty close, so maybe our styling will be better. Maybe better's a strong word, but maybe it will somewhat resemble Topher's again, his example project. Right now, what do we have? We have our HTML doc. Let's clear this. Clear. What do we have? We've got BDX simple calculator.html. We have that's MTL, not quite what we need. HTML. Enter. Bada dee 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 dee. BDX simple calculator. We will want a link of sorts. Link It's a style sheet. It will connect to this body. We'll have a div of, we'll call it main in the meantime, like we have in the past. Stuff, eventually. We can do an H1 calculator. No harm in that. Calculator. There we go. Whoa. Trapped in the sub drop-down menus of Atom. Calculator and whatnot. So we've got div, we've got body. At the bottom of our divs, we will need a script of sorts. Script stuff. Scripts. Paste dot JavaScript. Yeah, there we go. Good. Let's save that noise. And I think we can go ahead and create our CSS file. New file. pdxandcalculator.css. And we'll even throw in our JavaScript file at this moment. pdx. Whoa, we don't need to type that. We can paste it. .javascript. Beautiful. Just a hunch that we'll need those. CSS. Well, we'll do main for now, just because it's Thursday. Why not? It's not Thursday, it's Monday. .main will be a good placeholder. Fantastic. Hey, Cecil! How you doing? Calculator. Oh my god, calculator. See, do you get it? That's hilarious. Calc .u.later. No, for the kids at home? Come on. Phonetically, like calc u later. It's funny, damn it. Be appreciative. Cecil's hilarious. I thought it was delightful. Thank you. We enjoyed our chuckle. No, that JavaScript tag won't do. What about what? Did we break it? Wait. Oh my god, you're right. What the hell were we thinking? That's not gonna help anybody's problem. Jesus. I jumped the gun. We threw in link first, so there was the style sheet and then href, so I was like, oh hey, it's next to the other orange and green one. Wrong. We're gonna lose another finger for that one. We owe people fingers. Can you believe that? Which is unfortunate, because we've exceeded the 10 we have, so we need to borrow fingers from other people. Let's remove that bit. And we need a source. Ta-da! See that? That's the difference. That's what we want. Save. Good eye, Cecil. We were on autopilot there for a moment. Unfortunate. We were excited about setting up our new files for the new project. Little did we know, we were destroying it from the get-go. Well, here will be just things and such stuff. Good generic placeholder in the meantime. Same with function stuff. Things will happen. We'll do something with this. What the deuce? There we go. Stuff again. Alright. Save. Fan-freaking-tastic. Let's go ahead and open our project. And see what we've got in the meantime. Boom! Look at that! Yeah. The beginnings of a calculator. Can you believe that's what we all look like on the inside? Shocking. Alright. Well, that was rather quick. I think we can spend a little bit more time piecing this out than just that for today's stream. We could and should probably do the following. We have a couple rows. We got a couple things going on here. We could use grid. I'm trying to think if grid would be helpful. I think grid could work in this scenario. I'm trying to figure out how I want to handle the functions. Maybe a switch statement? I don't know if a switch statement is the right choice in this scenario. Still too early on for a novice like me to determine. Hey, Code by Kyle. How are you doing? Hopefully your day is going well. Weird Constructor, do you plan on realizing any of your own ideas anytime? Absolutely. We are still, in the meantime, chipping away at the awesome projects that Topher set up for us. Today's the first day of the Simple Calculator project, so we've only got 9 and 10 ahead of us. These will probably bring us to and through the end of the year. I'm not sure. I know these are going to kind of escalate with difficulty pretty quickly, almost exponentially even. Even though it feels like the whole year has been an uphill battle already. So I'm not sure if I'll be able to finish these within the year before December. If I do, as my own kind of transitional project, which I may still do even if this spills over into next year, which I get the feeling it will, which I'm cool with. I'll probably set up my own like microsite that ties all of these projects together, so you can sort of choose and select which project you want to see in function and just link them all together. But I think I'm going to polish them and do, I think, like a master CSS file for all the projects. So we'll see how it goes. There's a lot of room to grow and change and take that, but I think that'll be a good stepping stone from these projects, and then from there I'll probably start chipping away at my own stuff. Deselect me. Yours will be better. Topher's an optimist, isn't he? Exactly, right? I was mentioning that earlier in the stream. It's still there in all of them. Although I do have to say, style-wise, and I mentioned it before, we did come pretty close style-wise to Topher's example in the last project. Although we followed it a lot closer, we emulated or mimicked the example project he provided us pretty close. So I think that's why. Usually we do try to put our own spin on it, and it comes out looking sad and questionable. And, hey, the man himself, Topher, how you doing? There he is, right? Yeah, it's like Beetlejuice. You just gotta say his name 3 times. He'll show up. He's always there. Code by Kyle. Day's going good. Stuck in the office fixing a bug with a broken API. Goddamn active campaign. Hey man, I started a stream because of you. Gonna teach some programming. Was inspired. That's awesome, man. Way cool. We'll be sure to keep an eye out for it. We're just trying to survive the year that we're so close. What's today? Day 337? Yeah, day 337. Just day 365. It's right there, less than a month away. We just gotta cling on a little bit longer, keep forging ahead. It'll be good. We're determined to survive. Code by Kyle was thinking about putting together some of these little projects to learn and sell them on a site or something, or provide a few for free. That's what I do right now, but in healthcare. Alright, that's cool. Might be good. Do it in programming as well. Sell them? Yeah, you could do, what's the site? It's kind of like, what's the site? Udemy. That could work, but the other site I'm thinking of is Skillshare. I know there's a couple sites and they're all sort of similar, but they each have their own little twist to it. But Skillshare would be a good option. From what I've seen, Skillshare is pretty project oriented. Almost like this, basically. Not quite as many projects. They wouldn't have 10, but you could pick up a class at Skillshare or offer a class via Skillshare, and I think you'd offer maybe ballpark like 3 or 4 projects that they can do along to submit, and you can kind of check in on them. Just sort of like a more loose virtual classroom, if you will. But these types of projects would be good. I mean, you can provide the content and info on how one would go about executing it. You'd give and indicate what the tools that are needed to pull it off, but then you kind of leave them up to their own devices to go do that stuff. So the other one would be yeah, Udemy. Let's see, what are we looking for? Right, continuing on, progress with our own project. We were thinking of how we want to handle the layout. Tough call. I want to say I can see it with grid, but I don't know if that's the best option for this. It would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. 9 columns. 4 for the buttons. 4 columns for the buttons, but 5 for the spaces between the buttons. At least in my mind, that's how I see it. Then we would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 rows for the header, the result screen, and then the alternating columns and buttons below the screen. So we've got 9 by 11 for a grid. Fascinating. Alright, Code by Kyle. Yeah. Skillshare, yeah, I'll run my own. Well, yeah, that's true. I mean, you don't need to pay or set up, or they don't get a... You don't have to deal with someone taking a percentage if you just set up your own site. That's true. I'm curious what the hardest part was learning like this. Did you run into anything? You mentioned you had to kind of go through the intro level stuff every time, and it was kind of obnoxious. That's true, although lots of students are different, as well as there are lots of different teachers and methods to learn. I was willing. I knew this was going to be an exploratory endeavor, and I didn't really have a set, specific, focused goal. So I was curious and uncertain of how many times I would run into the repetitive intro level stuff. Both within Code Academy, I saw the same intro to HTML. They had like 3 or 4 projects where almost the content was almost exactly the same, covering that, or, you know, the intro fundamentals to CSS. They had a couple different entry courses that covered the basics of CSS like 3 or 4 times as well. Same with JavaScript. But what I found was I realized that I would probably encounter some repetition, but I figured that was just highlighting what the most important stuff was, or kind of the most common stuff. And oddly enough, it's, you know, 11 plus months later, almost 12 months completed now, and I'm still using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Now, that probably has to deal with what I learned. I know Topher is the one who set up these projects, and Topher's also been here since the beginning, so he knows what languages or things that I've seen, but all three of these go hand in hand anyways. But same thing happened at Free Code Camp. They cover all three of these basics, and that makes sense. It's straightforward. They all do go together quite nicely. But as far as difficulty, I didn't find it so much as obnoxious, but that's because I was willing to just kind of see what was out there. I think a lot of people would find it annoying running into the repetitive content. The most difficult part for me was actually the transition of taking the information learned in those free courses and applying it in my own setting and environment. The biggest issue was there weren't any classes, or there was no basic lesson on how to even do like the file setup. The first project, setting up Hello World and setting up like GitHub, oh my god, that was brutal. That was brutal. But yeah, that was probably the most frustrating, because I had like 8 to 9 months of general understanding of some of the fundamentals throughout all these different languages and activities, but I didn't know what to do with it on my own. So most people who are signing up for a course or wanting to learn to program have a goal, an idea set where they want to be in a few months or a few weeks. I didn't have that, so I'm kind of an odd student to ask. Bless you. Let's see, what are we looking for? All kinds of stuff, obnoxious stuff. I don't know grid very well, but it's easy. Deselect me. I don't know grid very well, but it's really easy. Go practice, use columns for spacing. Can't use padding and margin. Damn tablet. Oh, is it really good practice? Oh, maybe I shouldn't be using grid for the columns and spacing. It's just so cool to see grid. You just enter in the couple things, and then you can just do the fractional values, and then it figures out the fractional stuff for you. I just found it kind of neat. Damn tablet. Weird constructor. You should use grid, cells, columns, and rows for content. You use padding / margin for spacing. There's also grid gap you can use to specify spacing between the grid cells. He's like me, yeah, it just seems wrong. I cringed when he said that. My apologies. The year of noob learning. That's my bad. I'm still oblivious. Okay. It's about semantics. You have content you want to lay out. Then you use the grid for laying out the content, and you use media queries for responsive layouts based on device's size. Code by Kyle. That's all great feedback. Thanks. Oh, for my yammering. Interesting. Well, I'm glad that helps out. Thank you. Yeah, if you have any other questions, I can yammer if we need to chat further in detail in Discord or Skype or whatever. Let me know. I'm happy to help out. Yeah, we can deep dive into whatever questions or concerns you may have. Weird constructor. I learned programming because I was curious. I always thought of small projects I could realize and then learned along the way, usually with my book at hand. Congrats on the 2nd subscriber. Yeah, we had a couple subscribers. See, select me. I wasn't saying don't use grid. Just don't use columns for spacing. Ah, right. Wasn't. By the way, Topher subbed. Let's party. Topher subbed? We've got a Topher sub? Oh, you did so. That's cool. I really gotta say, I didn't set up the audio. I should have. I scrambled together piecing piecing, what is it? Or just the GitHub repository and a couple other things for this stream. So we can use padding and margins and whatnot. So we only need to do the couple columns here. You know what? You're right. We can use grid, and then we can just do space around, and that'll totally solve it. We can do space around. We don't even need to do padding. That's the beautiful thing with grid. We can do, I mean, padding is obviously always an option, but we could do just the 4 columns with justify content space around. That would spread everything equal. And then we could do whatever the corresponding value is for the other stuff. This will work. We'll piece this nightmare together. We should set up our buttons. We should do something basic more than this for sure. That's awesome. Another sub. I want to find a way where it shows other people have the stuff. I'm going to jump over to OBS. Other people have it where when you're looking at chat, it says so-and-so followed or so-and-so subscribed and whatnot. I'm pretty sure it's through either like Nightbot or the Muxie bot, if that's still even a thing. I just want it to show in my chat. I'm not sure. I need to dig deeper on that. Maybe I should set up my functions first. Well, I can hint at my functions. I'm eventually going to have an addition function. I feel like I should have a switch case for each of them. Whatever the button is, whatever the calculation is. No, operator? What do we want to call it? Weird constructor. The keypad is perfect for grid, content, or buttons. Goodbye, Kyle. It says for me when he subbed. See, that's why I don't understand why it doesn't show in the phone app. Damn. And I see all the time in you know, other people's channels, whenever I'm perusing Twitch, it shows subs and follows and blah blah blah, or the bit donations. We'll have to worry about that. We'll leave it as stuff. I want to do a switch case for the thing. Okay, well let's at least do something in the meantime. We will have over on iOS, the sub message doesn't show in chat for me, but on desktop it shows. Okay, well, you know what? I do. Usually I am watching on my computer, so that is a good point. Maybe that's where I've always seen it. I think I'm in the same boat as you as well. That would make sense. Consistency is a good sign. That's a good thing. We're going to have that. So we're going to have our header area, which will be our H1. Do we need to give it a div? I don't think so. We will have a div for the result window, div result. Or sum. Well, no, product equals result. Total. We'll call it total. Total. So there's that noise. We will also have our button. I really want to look at what was it called last night? Grid template area? Grid template area MDN. Because we just named them and then we stack them how we want it. It seemed like something really handy and would probably be perfect for this. Naming grid area 1, 2, 3, 4. Header dot block, grid area blankety blankety blank. Columns. Max. Blah 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 blah. Dee 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 dee. Grid template areas. AB, ABB, AC. Inherit, initial, and unset. For the examples of what it looks like down here. So we would have the HTML section, header, nav, so I'd be able to do all the buttons, 1, 2, 3, all the way through 9. 1 through 9, cool. And we just have this, header, navigation. Well, we take the tags, the element tags, header, nav, main, and footer, and then for page, when we do display grid, we figure out what we're working with here, and then areas, head and head, nav is to the side, main is that portion, and then footer, and it spits it out. We still do the row breakdown and the column breakdown. But from there, we get this. I think that might be beneficial. Part of me wants to use that, but I also just like piecing it together like a caveman using grid or flex. We could use Flexbox. So for honestly, grid seems like black magic to me, but I haven't used enough to feel confident with it yet. I've yet to read up on Flex. Flex is straightforward. After all, I grew up and learned web design when tables were all we had. Me too. Weird constructor. If you are looking for a great, and this is coming from a year-long novice learner, but Flexbox Froggy, holy this site is amazing. It's very quick and brief. It's got 24 little micro lessons, and it's absolutely stunning. It's fantastic. Same with Grid Garden, CSS Grid Garden, by the same people or person. These brief little micro lesson examples to teach and to highlight the difference. Couldn't recommend them more. They're absolutely stunning. So that's my 2 cents on that. Good times. Flexbox Froggy. I would like to know when to use Flex and when to use Grid. So Grid would be more for setting, of course I can't highlight in there. Why do they have those all highlighted? Long story short, Grid would be literally kind of like the table layout, and then Flex is where to position the objects within each of those divs, or the divs for the table. So Grid would be basically your board game, the play area of the board game, and then Flexbox would be the positioning for the items. to play on the board game. That would be the shortest analogy that I could possibly give into it from a novice level perspective on things. Dee 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 dee. La da 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 dee 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 ba dum bum bum. Grid for layout, Flexbox for distributing content inside their layout positions. Absolutely. Bingo. Spot on. Sounds sane. Seriously, if you do Flexbox Froggy and Grid Garden, they are the single out of all the tutorial activity things I've done, they were the best projects that I've encountered, or activities, like tutorial site resources that I've experienced this entire year. They were beyond awesome. And there's a third project coming. I think it's another, I don't know if it's an update to Grid or additional stuff, but they're great. Absolutely great. I started with Flexbox Froggy and then tackled CSS Garden, but yeah, Flexbox Froggy, that's where it's at. Good times. You'll be able to fire through it in, I don't know, 45 minutes. I spent like 2 days, like an hour and a half on each one, but that's because I yammer to no end. Let's close out of this. I just want to code them normally. I just want to have divs. I want to have a div 1. Is that wrong for me to have a div 1? I feel like it's excessive if I just have a div. That's not how you spell 1. See, I want to have a div 1, and I want there to be a number. Boom. This, right there. And then I want to have a div 2. Is that really that wrong for me to do? I feel like it is. I feel like it's so inefficient that someone who loves Grid is going to be like, well, you're doing it wrong, Steven. I think I'm okay with that. Deselect me. Oven? Yes, there were all the letters there, plus the extra V, and I was trying to figure out where to put the V, so I just left the N off, and I got confused. That's not how you spell 1. I spell it the long way. You have to spell oven first, and then you have to delete, and then fix it. Although that's how I spell most words. Incorrectly the first time. I think we're going to go down this path. It's just... it seems... I can live with this. Not gonna lie, I can live with this. La da 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 dee 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 dee, ba da 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 dee 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 dee, ba da ba 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 da ba ba da ba. However, though, for grid template areas, and as cool as the layout is, because we'd basically be able to lay out exactly this. I know. Here, we'll even jump over to CSS. Right here. No. See, we would end up doing something like 7410. Well, we'd have results, but 7 4 1 0 copy 7 4 1 0, and then here we would have 852 8 5 2 and then decimal. See, so we could piece all these together. We'd also have 9 and whatnot, blah, blah, blah. And up here would be, we could just do, what did we do? Result or total? Total for this column, total would spread over to this column as well as here. Total. See, so it would cover all of them. I just think that would be nice to just be able to key it in, and then all of these, the layout would just follow exactly like this, which is super awesome. Because all we have to do is reference, but the issue though, the difference is that they're referencing the element, basically, so nav, main, and footer, which means I would have to name my stuff, not based off the div, but I would have to name the div exactly that. 1. Which just feels odd and weird in the meantime. I don't know if I'm ready to commit to that lifestyle. It's strange. Plus, I also feel like I'm missing something huge for all of this. It's more than just the grid and the numbers. More than just the grid and the numbers. I'm missing like 2 to 3 massive concepts. I know I am. We'll have the functions. Could be a switch statement. I think it's a switch statement because then I don't need to do 4 different functions per se. I just take the value of whatever that button is and then compare it. If it's the division sign or the slash, we have our division formula, multiplication or the asterisk, multiplication formula and whatnot for the switch variable. And with the equal sign, we'll see. We will see. Topher, why not just give a button? Oh, the buttons! Son of a... Everything's a button. That's what I was missing. Bad Steven. Rookie mistake. Just awful. Why, Topher, why not give a button class rather than 1, 2, 3, etc.? That makes sense. Because then I can just reference whatever the button's doing. If it's a 1, we add that in, and then I just bring all of this button information over to JavaScript. Aha. Button life. Interesting. Do we keep the divs, though? Or just an entire society made of buttons? A divless world. No classes, only buttons. Actually, you're saying, why not just give a button class for each one? So we'd keep the div. We could even name them 1. We could kill 2 birds with 1 stone. We can still do grid template area and give the elements 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, blah, 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 blah. But we can also give them the class of button, which will help. Oh. Do I want to give them a class of button or an ID? Get element by ID. I do prefer get element by ID for JavaScript. Yeah. So it really doesn't matter whether you use divs or buttons, to be honest. Preference, I guess. No, there's... Let's see. You know, we've already got that going for us. We may as well just kind of commit. So... if... let's do... total... total... One. I don't think you can make up your own tags, can you? Oh crap, I can't make up my own tags? That's not a thing? I'm not able to do that? Just not sure what the point of giving unique classes to each element. That negates the purpose of having a class. Yeah, I guess you're right. Oh crap, you're right. All of that, I guess so I'm trying to do IDs instead of classes. Damn. Okay, alright. Learning curve apparently is still very steep for Steven on day 337. So much for laying out just the base code. I don't really think it matters where the, oh god, unless HTML5 went off the deep and he's trying to write JSX. I'm struggling. This is still, I'm left with a blank slate. In my mind, what would be just create the 4 columns with that. And everything will be good. Maybe let's just see if I can even patch together a decent grid. Let's not even worry about the HTML content right now. Let's just see if I can survive the initial grid area. So for main, I will have display. Oh dear God. Why? Display. Grid. Grid. It is in... Oh, the code I'm doing, it's in JSX or Vue.js. So this is a thing, people can do that. There's a language out there where you can just write your own elements or tags. That's the world I want to live in. So we should make me a new browser that just works with VDX code. Yeah, anything you throw in there, it can process it just fine. There's no rhyme or reason. It'll figure it out. What am I looking for? Grid, God, grid, row, dart grid auto columns, and grid... I don't even remember what the hell I'm looking for. This is why we have Grid Garden. Okay, grid template columns. That's what it was. Grid template columns. Where the deuce did it go? God, if I had a nickel for every time I lost something. Template columns. There it is. Oh my god, chasing my tail. We want 1, 2, 3, 4. I realize in Gopher's code, the buttons are slightly smaller to do the calculations, divide, clear, multiply, whatnot, than the integer buttons. But I'm fine if they're the same size. 1, 2, 3, 4. 25, 25, 25. No. 20%, because we want some space between... Yeah. No, that would be the buttons. Let's just do 25% across the board. 25%. 25. What did I need to do? It's just spaces, right? And they just follow suit. 25, 25, 25, and blah. All equal. Followed by 5 rows, I believe. Grid. Cecil, you passed it like 3 times. I was blind to it. It did not show up on my radar. Grid template rows. Because I remembered that grid template rows was not visible from here at the top of the search. I knew that I had to go below, so I was already looking down at the bottom of the list. So I wasn't focused on it for anything above, higher up. And it was my bad. My bad. Template rows. Cecil, you couldn't leave the house without your keys, but they were in your hand the whole time. Yeah, that is my life. That is me. Steven in a nutshell. What was I looking for? So we needed 6 rows? 6 rows, because we have the title as well. See, we've got calculator, results window, and then, ooh, wow, 4 sets of buttons. Versus 5. Not for the faint of heart. So what does one do in this scenario? Stack of hold on. We tell it that the buttons clear through plus, clear, divide, multiply, minus, add, those will populate from another div that also contains its own grid. So really, it's 4 columns. Is that gonna work? No, that's crazy talk. That's a terrible idea. This is gonna end in bloodshed. The alternative is we have the clear button above the results window. See, we could have the header calculator with that. Wrong. Bad, Steven. Just accept defeat. Follow in. No need to be clever. Just go back to the basics. Good old-fashioned vanilla CSS and HTML will solve all of your problems. Let's go. Let's do stuff with buttons. Let's get back into this. This is wrong. Bad, Steven. Run away from CSS. CSS is dangerous. CSS is like fire. No one should play with it. Not unless you have a purpose. Okay, so this deserves a button class. Button. This needs to be div. That should also be a div. Oh, we have so much to fix. We should just scrap all of this. You know what? You know what? Yeah, just... We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. Delete that noise. We've got our main div and our kind of header. or H1. Okay, happy thoughts. Let's make this as basic as possible. What would we do 376 days ago if it were day 1? There'd be a brief 7 to 15 minute window of crying. We can skip that part. And then we would follow the instructions in the most basic, simple way. So I would do div. And the class would be button. Its ID will equal something. And there we'll have a number of sorts. Copy, copy, copy. Let's do 1. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And 10 per se. Well, we have a 0. Do we continue the same song and dance because it's the same format for all of the buttons, theoretically, whether it's a 7 or a clear or whatnot? I know in the back end it will be tied to something different. When we click add, we'll end up running our additions, something, function, I don't know, button receives, for lack of a better phrase, also button. And if we've got some ungodly switch case with, oh, what do you know, button again. And it's looking for, I don't know what, something, things will happen. Numbers 1, 2, 3, or plus, minus, or equals. We'll do asterisks or equals and blah, 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 blah. And then things happen. And things are happening. Okay, okay. Let's just block that out for now. Good, good, good. So if we did have that, we just have one massive switch case. And it's hunting for all of this. It's all technically the same damn thing occurring. When I press on 1, and let's clear it. When I clear, if I press 1 and plus and 2 and times and 3 and equals, it's all being sent to the same exact function. And stuff happens. Okay. Okay. I'm willing to live in that universe. Alright. So if that's what's happening, then I would continue down this path. True, we should start putting in numbers and IDs, but let's see where we're at. Topher, overcomplicating things is your specialty, absolutely. Love the comment, super descriptive about what's happening. Yes, my reflecting on the past and now. Well, after 300 plus days of thinking out loud, I'd hope we'd start to get better at it. Let's see where we do stand. Well, we should start at 0, oddly enough. 0, 1, 2, and 3, and 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, decimal, equals? No. Plus, minus, multiply, divide, equals, and clear, which has 2 different scenarios in it. How do we handle that? That'll be an if-else statement on the function side for A B / C. Yeah. Good. Clear. We'll just call it clear. That'll be fine. Now, things to do. We've got 1. Beautiful. 2. Right, we're on track. We are on track. 3. God forbid we write 3 in our 4 button, and then 6 hours later we never find out. That's the kind of mistake I would be the one to make. 6. Okay. 7. Again, I just want to get some of the basic initial stuff in there. I'm not looking to conquer this whole project tonight. I've just been struggling with visualizing the damn thing. 9. We didn't type 8 in. We skipped 8. We have some 8 phobia, I guess. 9. It must be subconscious because we didn't do that intentionally. I guess because 7, 8, 9? No? Okay, bad jokes. Keep working, Stephen. 9 decimal. Point. Addition. Ooh. Do we call it add or addition? What would the historians want to see 100 years from now? What would be more straightforward? For language, if this gets interpreted into Spanish or Japanese, what would they rather see? I don't think plus is going to fly. I think add would be okay, but I think addition. Probably the more formal, the better. Addition. I'm not sure I need to worry about this being translated on an international level. Plus. There's also the symbol accompanying it, so I'm sure they'll know what to do. Subtraction. There's that. Multiplication. Multiplication. We will use... Oh, crap. Well... Instinctively, I want to use an X. However, I'm also a fan of using the asterisk. I know we'll end up using the asterisk in JavaScript, but as far as the button goes, I think we can get away with using the lowercase x. And then division. Ta-da! B-diddy-dee-dee. Where the hell is the division symbol on my keyboard? Guys, my keyboard's broken. I don't have a division symbol. There's a lack of division in my life. Uh-oh. Jump ship. My gut reaction is throw the keyboard at the monitor since there's no division key, but let's try searching. Maybe we have to Google it. Can I extract it from Topher's project? Damn, all I can do is click it a bunch. That's not exactly helpful. Division? Where is... Oh, yeah, of course, Tom Clancy's Division. He selected me. Must have played the Stanley... Parabola demo. So many 8s. Oh, no, I have not encountered the I don't even know what the Stanley Parabola demo is. Although I feel like that's another thing that I should Google, but we'll save that for later. Division. Symbol? Divide. Symbol. Oh dear God, I'm just typing into the abyss. But... Well, yes, that is it, but how do we get it? We could copy that. Topher. Oh! And divide. And times for multiple, wait, parabola, wait, did I miss, horrible? I'm thinking of, like, parabola math. That's, all the symbols, that's where my mind's at right now. Oh, parable? Ah, Stanley, parable, Emil. Okay, I'm thinking parabola. My bad. I'm on a math tangent. Gah, just awful. That's gotta be a new low point. Let's see, what are we... Oh, and we're dividing. And divide. And divide. Dum 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 dum. Dum 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 dum. And divide. Oh, why? Oh, with the semicolon. Aha, cool. Here is and times semicolon. Well, should I do the same for subtraction and addition? No, I don't need to worry about that. Subtraction, division, clear, so this would be equals. And you. Okay. That has to be crap enough. We also need a results when... Oh, the total. Div total. Which will be some printout screen, I suppose. Here's that. You can get rid of stuff. Save. Refresh. Ta-da. We have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 with the decimal, plus, minus, multiply, divide, equals, AC/C. Okay, awesome. That is actually kind of a step in the right direction. Rows. Let's just see how it is with five things of 20%. No, 6. Header, result, plus 4, 6 rows. Jesus, what is that? 100 divided by 6? I'm sorry, I'm not that cool. 100 divided by 6. 16.66 repeating. Of course it is. Why wouldn't it be? Let's do 5. Let's just do 20% and see what we get from there. 20%. 20%. You know what the thing to do is? Is do the repeat for grid. You do the repeat, I think you do it in brackets, you do like 9 comma something, and then it'll do it 5 times. Or you just do like 5, maybe it's 5/20 or 5 comma 20, and it would spit it out. 5 repeated rows. It's actually pretty damn cool. I wish I knew grid better, which is why I want to keep trying to use it. Because it's so needlessly powerful. It's quite fascinating. Save. Here's this. Good enough. And let's go to my particular nightmare. Refresh. Well, things are happening. I think that's important. Let's go to inspect. It's a little scary looking, but aside from that, this is what we have to look at. Let's try dropping in a border. Would that solve anyone's problem? Border. 20. I'm also in the calculator instead of in Twitch. Wait, Cecil, really interesting game. In the demo, there's... In the really interesting game. In the demo, there's a section where you press a button with an 8 on it, and it says 8 when you press it. The narrator gets super pissed if you keep pressing it, and there's an achievement if you press it like 1,000,000,000 times. Topher, I've always wanted an achievement for pressing 8 like 1,000,000,000 times. Good to hear that's a thing now. That's what he's been longing for since your childhood. I think that's what we've all been longing for since our childhood, is to press the same button to piss someone off 1,000,000,000 times. I think that's the sole purpose of the human condition. Border. 2 pixels? I think that's reasonable. Solid and black. Save. Will that actually do anything? It goes around it, but that's not what we're looking for. What we want to do is have this cut for our button class. Ta-da! Save. All of this is definitely going to change. Probably even our HTML, not gonna lie. This is just a day one thing. I've already invested more time on day one than I had planned. But let's see how this looks. Refresh. Ta-da! We'll even add our border back to main. Boom. Save that. Refresh. You know, it's not the prettiest of beginnings, but it's a beginning nonetheless. So we're gonna leave that as it is for now. Shockingly, let's go ahead and save, commit, and push this noise, and we can wrap up day 337. We can strive for more progress tomorrow. Again, this was just supposed to be the initial setup, which I think we've checked that box. There's this. Let's go ahead and back out to OBS. We want to add in GitHub Desktop. Set up initial files. Copy. Boom. Commit to master. And push. Yes. Good. Beautiful. Let's close that noise. Double check. OBS. Get rid of that. And let's make sure everything's successfully updated, which I'm certain it did. It always does. But a little reassurance never hurt. Repository, simple calculator, updated 26 seconds ago, all 3 files. Hot damn. Way cool. Back into OBS. Thank you again to anyone and everyone who stopped by to view the stream. Today we had C-Selectomy, Code by Kyle, Weird Constructor, Topher Gates, Who else did we have? Constructor, Topher, Cecil, Code by Kyle, lots of repeats. I get that's everybody. At the bottom, Cecil. I expect a sound clip of you saying 8 when you click the 8 button on the calculator. We'll see if we can shimmy a sound clip into our calculator. I'm not sure I will have the skill set to pull that off, but we will make a note of that to try to make your dreams come true. I guess if we do that, we may as well narrate the whole calculator, but I'm not sure I don't think I have the skill set for that right now. I don't think I'm that cool. Or qualified. None of those. All right, what were we looking for? Also, thank you to anyone who may have accidentally stumbled in here to view the stream. Any and all views are greatly, greatly appreciated. Day 337 comes to an end. However, the adventure continues tomorrow with day 338 of the year of streaming and learning to code. In the meantime, are you sure you want to stop the stream? Hell yeah. Kill it.